Boxing fans and analysts alike are enthralled and divided over the possible bout between Terence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez. There is a lot of excitement surrounding this fight, which sets two generations of talented fighters against one another. Both are considered to be pound-for-pound greats. Prominent boxing commentator Eddie Hearn has called the bout an exciting matchup between two great fighters, recognizing the difficult task Crawford has as he moves up in weight. Crawford's mobility and ring IQ are unmatched, he said, but it's a huge undertaking to take on Canelo at 168 pounds, when Alvarez might weigh 180 or 185 on fight night. Hearn thinks Crawford might be the one to overcome the odds, but because of the size difference, he still leans toward Canelo. Terence Crawford's ardent supporter Sam Jones offers an alternative viewpoint while acknowledging the difficulty of the task. Although he believes that Canelo's physicality is a deciding factor, he also admires Crawford's abilities, describing his mobility and intelligence as unmatched. According to Jones, despite Crawford's technical skill, his brute strength may overcome him since he is a block of muscle, not tall but immensely solid and powerful. According to Jones, even a boxer of Crawford's caliber might find it difficult to overcome the weight disadvantage. Not just promoters and analysts are talking about this fight. The UFC president and well-known fan of combat sports, Dana White, has spoken, calling it a super fight between two extremely talented sportsmen. White acknowledged being unsure when asked who might prevail, illustrating the unpredictable nature of this matchup. However, he did affirm that he would probably be present if the battle materialized, highlighting its importance as a must-see event. A more nuanced opinion was provided by former world champion Keith Thurman, who claimed that Canelo is extremely hard to beat, but not unbeatable. He emphasized Alvarez's diverse skill set, which includes devastating power, accurate timing, great defense, and successful offense. Thurman's analysis, however, offers promise because it implies that Crawford's own skill set could be able to take advantage of weaknesses if he plays his cards correctly. The boxing community as a whole agrees that Canelo is a titan, but not invincible. A more contemplative approach was adopted by Paulie Malignaggi, a former fighter who is now a broadcaster. He contends that Crawford is meant to win because of the way he has constructed his career in comparison to Canelo, and that boxing's narrative favors him. Malignaggi believes that destiny is more important than skill. Although he acknowledges that such results are uncommon in a sport that frequently defies poetic justice, he believes Crawford's journey merits a last encounter with a titan like Alvarez. One of Crawford's most optimistic supporters is his former trainer, Kevin Cunningham. Although he considers Canelo to be among the best boxers of all time, he maintains that Crawford is a special talent who can step up to the plate. Although Cunningham doesn't anticipate Crawford dominating Alvarez, he is certain that his wits and versatility will highlight Canelo's weaknesses. In order to gain Canelo's respect, he sees Crawford not only boxing shrewdly but also fighting fiercely, combining physicality and technical skill to win. Every conversation is plagued by the size question. Reiterating this point, Eddie Hearn pointed out that Crawford isn't a large 154-pounder, much less a natural 168-pounder. He compares this to Canelo, who has a considerable physical advantage and has an IQ that is comparable to Crawford's. According to Hearn, Canelo must get off to a quick and forceful start since Crawford's evasive footwork can irritate him if the bout stretches on. Depending on Canelo's level of aggressiveness early in the fight, he even considers stopping the fight. WWE star Big E added his contagious passion to the conversation outside of the boxing community. Although he acknowledged Canelo's physical advantage, he referred to the fight as a dream matchup for fans, and questioned whether Alvarez's lengthy career's wear and tear will eventually show. Big E, a self-described lover of Crawford, believes he will win by decision even though he doesn't think Crawford could defeat the tough Canelo. His enthusiasm is indicative of a larger idea. Regardless of the result, they want this conflict. Another experienced trainer, Ronnie Shields, compared Crawford to Floyd Mayweather, who famously defeated Canelo in 2013. Shields remembered how Canelo had to repeatedly reset as Mayweather neutralized his pressure with footwork and angles. He thinks Crawford will research and improve that design, using his own agility and intelligence to irritate Alvarez. Shields is upbeat and believes Crawford has a great shot if he follows a methodical strategy. Ismail Madoff presented a fair assessment, arguing that the fight's outcome depends on how it develops. In a 12-round chess match, when talent and strategy might win out, he supports Crawford. Nevertheless, if it's a knockout, he leans toward Canelo's superior strength. Madoff does not downplay Canelo's ability to end things abruptly, but he does commend Crawford's experience, knowledge, and versatility, qualities that make him a terror for any opponent. Legendary promoter Bob Arum highlighted the weight difference as a crucial element. Although he thinks Canelo is a very good fighter, he contends that Crawford has a better skill set. Arum acknowledges that the real weight that Alvarez provides could tilt the scales, but if he had to choose, he would support Crawford. The fight's razor-thin margins, skill versus size, elegance versus force, are captured by this ambivalence. In his 2021 fight against Canelo, Caleb Plant emphasized Crawford's adaptability, his capacity to change stances, manage distance, and engage in productive combat at any range. He believes Crawford is a live underdog because he is freakishly strong and has good punching power. Fans, who love the uncertainty this contest brings, are as excited as Plant is. He counseled Crawford to remain loyal to himself, savor the present, and let things unfold naturally. Boxing legend Roy Jones Jr. denied that weight was a decisive influence. It's about execution for him. Canelo wins if he has a clear plan and fights to his strengths. Crawford gains the upper hand if he falters. Jones's study adds another level of complexity to the discussion by moving the emphasis from physical characteristics to strategy. Canelo knocked out Amir Khan in 2016, and he depended heavily on Alvarez. Although he conceded Crawford's stature, he maintained that Canelo has become a more skilled boxer since their battle. Khan suggested that Canelo's age hasn't diminished his skill by citing his victories over Dimitri Bivol and Jamie Munguia as proof of his continued dominance. A pragmatic issue was brought up by Jaron "Boots" Ennis. Crawford would have to put on 14 pounds in order to reach 168. Although he acknowledged that it's hard to know until fight night, he conjectured that Crawford's speed might be diminished by the additional weight. The intrigue is only heightened by this ambiguity. Another former champion, Danny Garcia, described it as a battle of styles between top fighters. Although he saw Canelo's size of 168 as a significant barrier, he also highlighted the fight's enormous attractiveness from a competitive and financial standpoint. It's a smash for Garcia that goes beyond the ring. Crawford's chances were seen more negatively by Adonis Wilkins, who argued that a drop from 154 to 168 might cause him to slow down considerably. He predicts a late-round triumph similar to Alvarez's stoppage of Caleb Plant, believing Canelo's strength will make the difference. Wilkins anticipates that as the bout goes on, Crawford will wane, giving Canelo the opportunity to take advantage of his strong strikes. Teofimo Lopez took a wait-and-see stance, emphasizing that both competitors must first prevail in their next fights. He pointed out that in the current boxing environment, a fighter's reputation is based on their most recent performance. Therefore, forecasts are premature until the facts are known. Frustrated that his brother David was never given a chance to challenge Canelo, Jose Benavidez Jr. vehemently defended Crawford. In contrast to many of Canelo's terrified opponents, he commended Crawford's high IQ and flexibility, saying that he will enter the fight fearless and prepared to take charge. But Joel Diaz laughed at the idea of a Crawford victory that was simple. Comparing the size difference to Canelo's annihilation of Amir Khan, he described it as a game-changer. Diaz feels that, considering Crawford's jump from 147 to 168, one blow from Alvarez may change everything. Crawford's friend Blair Cobbs found it difficult to choose a winner. Although he respects Canelo's stature and toughness and hopes Crawford wins, he sees it as a steep task for his friend. After some hesitation, Brian Norman decided on Crawford, pointing to successful people who moved up, such as Shane Mosley and Roberto Duran. Crawford can join that prestigious company, he thinks. The agreement. In this battle, skill, size, and willpower collide like a coin toss. Some believe that Canelo's physicality is unbeatable, while others see Crawford's genius triumphing over the obstacles. There is no doubt that the boxing world will hold its breath when these two enter the ring.